Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. QUEENager, she is strong for black women 40 and over who want to transform through fitness and travel. Today is tape number, what number is it? Put my glasses on. Oh, because y'all know I had a stroke. Today is taping number 12, day 14. I only have 2 more days. I'm here in Medellin, Colombia, but not Medellin. Why am I here? I'm here because I'm celebrating 80 pounds of weight loss for 10 years. Yay! So the way I celebrate is through trips and a photo shoot, because what gets celebrated gets repeated. So it's about 9:15. So I kept my word with my vlog because I had the vlog earlier this morning to recap yesterday, because yesterday I went on a tour and it was quite lengthy. So since it was lengthy, I said, okay, I read today's tour because I was inspired by the tour guide, Oscar, yesterday. And I was inspired to go on the Graffiti Comuna 13 tour. And I was like, what is all of this talk about Paul Escobar? Y'all know I don't watch any TV. It's the truth. It is day 14. The TV still has not been turned on. But what I will do when I get back home, I will watch the documentary of Paul Escobar, because I'm now interested and intrigued about this Paul Escobar. So what I've realized, as we all know, black people have had a Holocaust, still having a Holocaust. Jewish people have had a Holocaust. And now Colombians, after going on this tour, have had a Holocaust as well, because of Pablo Escobar. The crime was so bad. You know, in the previous episodes, I kept saying the cartel haven't gotten me yet. But now, after today's tour, I understand the people that were saying the stuff. It was coming from a place of love. I get it. I got it. But now I'm really, really getting it. And I'm pretty sure after I watch the documentary, I'm like, girl, you were crazy for going out there. But anywho, it is day 14 and the people are just wonderful. So that's that. Let me put on my glasses because y'all know I had a stroke, so I have to refer to my notes and my glasses. I'm going to learn Spanish before the year is over again. Okay, because before this tour, and this tour was for 4 hours, the tour guide says, everybody, let's form a circle, and it was about 40 of us. Say your name, where you're from, and is this your first time here in Medellin, Colombia? I lied to y'all not. When I said hello, my name is QUEENager. I'm from the United States. And you know what? It felt good saying that. Number one, I was the only person there from the United States. I was representing the USA, USA, USA. It felt really good because, we have our problems and everything, just like I'm sure other countries have their problems as well. There's no perfect country. That's just what it is. But I actually got a little tear started forming. I'm like, I'm really proud of my country. No, truthfully, what it really is, I'm still looking forward to going home, because as much as I love to travel, I still, when that plane hits that ground, when the wheel goes, it hits that ground, and we back at JFK, I just be like, thank you, God, thank you. I love my home, no matter the problems, just like family. You love your family. You might not like them, but you still love them. That's just what it is. So that's that. And also another reason why I want to learn Spanish, because two of the people in my group, they came up and they introduced themselves. One of the gentlemen was from the Netherlands. I was like, am I saying that right? Netherlands. And he said his first native language is Dutch. But in primary school, because our group all spoke English, that was another thing. I was the only American there, but the group was in English, and everybody was from a different country, and everybody spoke English. So that was another reason why. That just like put the fire to my tail. I'm gonna learn Spanish before a year is over. Period. That is that. And the gentleman from the Netherlands was saying that in primary school, they were taught English, and so primary school would be the first 6 years, to my understanding. Whereas, like, I didn't get introduced to Spanish. I believe it was 7th and 9th grade. I wasn't interested in no Spanish then. It was the South Bronx, the 80s. I was coming up and trying to survive. And just hold that point 1 second. I will get to that. And I wasn't really interested, and then I revisited Spanish again in high school. Still wasn't interested. Then in college, undergrad, it bit me in my butt. I had to pass, and I passed with a D-, and I took that very, very happily and thankful, because I wanted to get out of undergrad college. But long story short, I'm going to learn Spanish. And then the second gentleman who introduced me, well, he didn't really introduce himself to me. He wanted me to take his picture, and we just got to chit-chatting. He was from Canada, and he was saying back at home, it's 46, it's negative 46 degrees. I said, wait a minute. Booski's telling me on the phone it's 8 degrees, and you better enjoy that 82 degrees weather where you're at right now. I was just like, whew, you got my condolences. And this gentleman also said that in primary school, he learned English as well as his second language. His native language was French. And I was like, okay, God, I hear you. Two people, both of their experience in primary school was to learn a second language. And all I know is English, and had the opportunities. There's no excuse, period. Okay. So Colombia, to my understanding, what I'm gathering from these tours and this cultural experience, is that it is not going through. It has went through a transformation. That's why everybody is saying the cartel's gonna get you. You might be a mark. They might kidnap you. Blah 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 blah. I get it now. It has been through a transformation. Okay. And on this tour, I had a revelation. I realized why Medellin was speaking to me. Just like I just said, Colombia has went through a transformation, and that's just what it is. This graffiti tour, Comuna 13, was talking about Pablo Escobar, how he was a drug lord back in the 80s and 90s. And when I'm looking around, I'm like, this ain't nothing but the South Bronx to me. The steps, the way it's laid out, the hills, that's all Bronx X up. If you're from the Bronx, South Bronx, you know all about the hills, you know all about the steps. And back in the 80s and 90s, you know all about crack cocaine that just came out. New Jack City, that's one of my favorite movies. Nino Brown, and that reminds me, I'm supposed to meet Hayes for lunch. I gotta ask him to wear his black turtleneck. It's a private joke, and I will post a picture on Instagram why I asked him to wear a black turtleneck. So just go and check Instagram, QUEENager, she is strong. Oh, I almost forgot to ask y'all to please subscribe to the channel, click like and share, and place any comments below about my stay in Medellin for 16 days, my solo retreat, just to celebrate my weight loss. Please put the comments below. I almost forgot to ask y'all. And I hope while y'all watching this vlog, y'all are doing some exercise, whether it's walking, treadmill, jogging, walking up and down your staircase, because this is a fitness and travel channel. So there you have it. Speaking of this tour, it was supposed to be for 4 hours. It was going into 5 hours, and I just had to say, stop, time out. I'm gonna call an Uber. It's time for me to eat, and I want to get my ice cream. And I'm loving this ice cream. The link will also be in the description box, along with the Airbnb tour that I went on today. The great thing about this tour, I got a chance to ride the metro, the train, because y'all know I don't do the train. I haven't done the train in New York City since it was a token, and anybody knows the token was in the 90s. I don't do the trains. No. And I wanted to do a cable car. I really wanted to do that. You know, I've had the opportunity to do it in New York City. I just didn't get around to it. So I said, all right, I'm gonna come all the way out to Colombia, and I'm gonna ride the cable car. That was a real highlight of the tour. And I also rode the bus. All right, I was like, the bus and the train, I'm glad I did it with the tour, and the tour was under $20 for 4 hours, and the tour guide was great. I found a lot of history about Pablo Escobar, Comuna 13, graffiti. It was a reminder of my teenage years, the 80s and 90s. They had these dancers break dancing, and I was like, oh wow, you know, the hip-hop community really needs to come out here and do something, because it would just, the backdrop, they wouldn't have to do anything with the props, because all of the scenery is graffiti. And that's, you know, it's just so ironic, because back then the politicians were all against graffiti, and now it's being glorified. Tours, it was nothing but tours today in Comuna 13. And like I said, when I looked around, and you will see the pictures on QUEENager She Is Strong on Instagram, it reminded me of my hood, the South Bronx. That's exactly what it reminded me. Even the colors of the building structure and the steps. Oh my God, I was like, okay, now I understand why Medellin is resonating with me, why I'm feeling this place, why I will be back. One, it's the weather. My Raynaud's is not acting up, my arthritis is good, and the weather just feels great on my skin. Two, the affordability. May I be honest with you? May I be honest? There's two things I have not done. I haven't turned on the TV, and I haven't turned on the stove to cook. Usually Sundays and Wednesdays is my meal prepping day, but because I can get in an Uber for less than $3, I have not yet paid more than $3 for an Uber, and go get my food for under $10, that I will get 2 meals out of it. And then I eat my breakfast here that came included with the Airbnb, and then I'll make a smoothie because I bought my protein. Simple. And and another thing that resonates with me, the food, because I do want to try to be plant-based for at least 2 weeks when I get back home. And all right, I'll just be honest, I'll do it for 40 days. That'll be my fast. Because last year I gave up, what did I give up last year for Lent? Oh, profanity, I think it was. And the year before that was alcohol, because after I had the stroke, since 2021, I have not had any alcohol. Knock on wood, and won't be. I don't plan on it. And I think that was the only thing I can say about this tour that I was not in agreement with, even though I did read it and I was to expect it, but I just didn't expect the amount of time. It just said we was gonna get ice cream, and we were gonna stop at a bar to get a beer. So instead of getting a beer, I did a photo op, which you'll see on Instagram, QUEENager She Is Strong. I'm sitting in a hand overlooking the the community. It's like I'm sitting on top of the world. So that's what I did while they was at the bar. They stayed there, just in my opinion, a little bit too long, because okay, we had the mango ice cream, that was great. We looked around and it was super duper crowded because all of the Colombians were there today because it's Sunday. That's their day that they have to rest. They don't work on Sundays. But I was trying to get back to my ice cream parlor before 7 and my vegetarian restaurant 7, because on Sundays they were closing at 7 and I wanted to get my food and some good, healthy, clean food. I've been eating so good here. Not to say I don't eat good at home, but it's just been a different type of food. Fruits, vegetables, fish. Oh my God. And the peso goes so far. Thank God. I didn't do any cardio today because even though the tour is 4 hours, I was literally walking for 3 hours minus the time on the metro train and the car, the metro tram and the cable car and the bus. Other than that, I was walking. So I got my exercise in, all under $20, and got a whole cultural lesson. And then my minimalism started to kick in because it was just so many people, so much music going on compared to yesterday. I was just like, today I just want to learn and have the experience to reflect and experience the culture. I didn't want any stuff. I wanted the experience, and that's exactly what I had. Tomorrow I have another 2-hour walking tour, but it's also Monday, and Monday is usually leg day, but I'm gonna switch it up because since I'm having a walking tour that will attack the legs, I plan to do an abs class in the morning at 9. So I'm gonna do that, and after I get off camera, I'm gonna try my best to finish up shawl 3. If I don't finish it up tonight, definitely tomorrow it's gonna be finished. 3 shawls will be packed up in the bag, ready to go. It's time to go back because American Airlines has already sent me an email where I have to start getting ready for immigration or whatever those forms that I have to turn in before I it's not immigration, or it might be immigration, whatever the international rule thing I have to do before going into the United States. I got to fill out that form, and I got to also prepare my taxi to go back to the airport. So all of this chit chat, I talked about the fitness, I talked about the travel, Colombia, it all goes together. And like I said, you could do some exercise while you're listening to this. Anything else, I'm sure it is. I wrote it down. I already told y'all about that. When I get back, I plan on watching the documentary on Pablo Escobar. I'm not gonna do the series because I don't really have time for the TV. What else? I told you about it's time to go home. I pretty much think that's about it. And I don't know if I told you this earlier. Yeah, no, I can't remember. My little short-term memory is something else because of the stroke. But if I did, excuse me, I don't want to repeat myself, but earlier Shaka was out. Shaka's now back in the ponytail. I think I did tell y'all this. And I think I did. All right, excuse me. All right, I'm just rambling. Enough. I'm tired. I'm going to take me a shower. I'm going to bed. And I'm going to do a little bit of crocheting. And that's it. Take my medication. That's enough. I've had enough for the day. I'm grateful and thankful. So you QUEENagers, you make sure you click, like, share, and place any comments you have about Medellin, about my solo retreat, okay? Stay strong, QUEENagers. Love you. Talk to y'all later. Bye.